Earlier this year, I had the pleasure of contributing to a project in practice, designing a community circular kitchen in collaboration with Brockwell Community Garden. Due to the nature of the project, we received training from their ESG specialist, a job I didn't even know existed before because it is so rare that an architectural practice will employ someone for the express purpose of spearheading all community engagement to ensure it is collaborative, transparent, and fair. Her work catalyzed a shift in how I perceived the systems of architectural production and how they often exclude and ignore the needs of people outside of the profession. The built environment today, especially in urban areas, suffers greatly from asymmetric powers at play and a lack of care and reciprocity. Community ownership and stewardship is rare, and this issue affects the ability of architecture in placemaking. The RIBA Plan of Work, a document accredited as the definitive model for design and construction of buildings, fails to establish iterative feedback loops where space evolves from ongoing relationships, not static blueprints. Their plan of work, although visually representing a circle, does not detail a cyclical system. The responsibility of the architect ends within use, and the involvement of the user is hardly brought forward beyond stage one. These issues mean that a lack of ownership leads to poor maintenance, no pride in place, and design that fails to genuinely address community needs. Even the engagement overlay for the RIBA Plan of Work is a separate and largely ignored document. The advice is often clinical and detached, and it doesn't provide engagement methods, toolkits, or case studies of practice. My critique of this process was to create a plan beyond work. The process here, as prototyped in my design project in studio this year, is a truly cyclical one, where each stage was carefully considered with care, collaboration, and stewardship as the keystones of this method. Stage 0 is empathetic inquiry and begins with deep listening and immersion to understand the site's context, the community's history, and the lived experience of its members. Stage 1, crafting the brief, asks practitioners and partners to collaboratively define the project's vision, goals, and scope through inclusive dialogue with community members. Stage 2, conceptual co-creation, engages the community in iterative design sessions to develop concepts that resonate with their values and needs. Imagination and experimentation is about testing ideas in practice and implementing them in small-scale prototypes to explore design concepts. Detailed definition draws on the knowledge of local craftsmen and material experts to finalize design details. Collaborative construction involves community members and local craftsmen in the construction process. Social stewardship ensures those who participated in the design and construction are also equipped to care for, adapt, and advocate for the space over time. And finally, living and learning centers post-occupancy learning, continuous dialogue, and the idea that buildings are never finished but always evolving, ideally leading you back to initiating stage 0 again. I think spatial autonomy and community ownership are so important for the development of spaces that are inherently caring, always evolving, and socially and ecologically sustainable. And I would like to carry this process into my future practice, both designing with these principles and contributing to the research and legislation that helps define and pave the way for better practice. Thank you.